Welcome to Books for Success. Today we're unraveling the insights from Food Fix by Mark Hyman. Reveal the staggering truth about the food industry and how it impacts governmental policies. Discover the right products to boost your physical and mental health. You'll learn about nutritious food and where to find it. Vital steps to protect children's health. Pointers to make healthy products accessible to everyone. How much do corporations spend on lobbying? If you like our content, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. Don't be shy about smashing that like button if you discover something valuable. Let's grow and succeed together. Food preferences determine your physical and mental state. In 2018, nutritionists were puzzled. Research showed that almost 50% of Thai Buddhist monks were overweight, and 10% had diabetes. How is it possible? They stuck to the traditions and fasted daily. So their rations had much fewer calories than any other Thai citizen. After observation of their dietary habits, scientists discovered the cause. Monks indulged in soft drinks. We often focus on the number of calories, yet what also matters is their quality. For example, the 100 calories we get from sugar and fat impact our health differently. The former decreases metabolism, while the latter does the opposite. Despite the consumption level, over 90% of Americans lack essential vitamins. Instead, what we have in excess are unhealthy additives. In the US, each person consumes 3 to 5 pounds of additives per year. As a result, we are more inclined to chronic diseases. Not all food has detrimental effects. Scientists from Philadelphia concluded that after serving patients nutritious meals for a year, the number of hospital visits dropped by 50%. Moreover, even if patients came for help, they spent 30% less time in the medical center. Although healthy nutrition sounds easy in theory, it's challenging to implement. Food quality is an outcome of economic, political, ecological, and social factors. We must address them all so that we live longer. Are you ready to discover the hidden truth about what you eat? A warning, it may shock you. Unhealthy products are symptoms of the problem. The whole system is Have you ever wondered what biography a hamburger on your plate has? It might be an eye-opening story. Until 1990, there were countless small seed companies. Their products contributed to species diversity and resistance. Over time, more than 100 appeared in the hands of the 4 large corporations. Nowadays, they provide farmers with over 60% of seeds and sell pesticides and herbicides to protect the plants. Glyphosate is among the most popular. Americans use more than 3.5 billion pounds of this chemical on over 70 crops annually. It means you can consume glyphosate virtually in every product, from bread to a sushi roll. Studies proved that even 0.1 ppb of it detrimentally affects our microbiome. As the field soil is exhausted, farmers apply additional chemicals. The latter may also come with water used for irrigation. Crops grow and soak up all these toxic ingredients. Hence, the hamburger bun you eat is far from a healthy concept. The same applies to animal farms. Unsanitary conditions caused by overcrowding trigger numerous diseases, so workers often add antibiotics to the feed to make cattle bigger and healthier. As a result, meat contains drugs and chemicals. But this is not the end of beef's chemical journey. Eventually, it appears in kitchens where chefs apply additives and flavor enhancers. Afterward, it becomes your order in the cafe. Not all hamburgers originate this way, yet it's typical for many dishes. Why are we unaware? Some businesses pull all the strings to keep us in the dark. This biography is a telling example that our food system is wrong. Nowadays, it resembles a vicious cycle, with farmers and consumers as its hostages. Without governmental support, the former often have no choice but to use pesticides. Otherwise, they are doomed to bankruptcy. More herbicides equal worse soil, and consequently, more chemicals the following season. Besides, consumers unintentionally encourage farmers to keep up with this model. Many people can't afford organic vegetables and fruits. They choose the cheaper option but pay a high price for it: their health. The first step in combating this unfair system is seeing the connection between politics, agriculture, and the environment, because food relates to all three. Ways to limit chemicals in your ration. Ultra-processed food has gained popularity from Mexico to India, gradually replacing traditional diets, but in the US, it constitutes almost 2/3 of our calories. The consequences are dramatic. In 1962, 3.4% of Americans were obese. Nowadays, this number is 40%. Furthermore, approximately half of Americans have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes. Even teenagers suffer from it, inconceivable numbers from those of 30 years ago. It's a global trend, and the situation is even worse in some countries. In the 1990s, 1 in 150 Chinese had diabetes. By 2030, this number will be 1 in 10. Thus, it's high time for us to manage our diet. Follow these recommendations to improve your well-being. Eat up to 15 servings of whole plants daily. Unless you are fit, choose low-glycemic fruits like apples, cherries, grapefruits, and blackberries. Additionally, whole grains are beneficial for you. Make healthy fats a must. Start with nuts or seeds, which lessen the risk of diseases. Add meat to your diet if you can find a free-range farm that does not use chemicals. Eggs are a sound choice too. They contain numerous nutrients. Buy fish with a low amount of mercury like herring or sardines. They are full of omega-3. Don't underestimate the mineral and protein content of beans. Consume less sugar in food and beverages, including juices. Be careful with cow dairy products. Replace them with goat or sheep options. Visit the Non-GMO Project website. It's an initiative that checks products and finds sellers who avoid GMOs. Their database contains over 14,200 retailers. Read food labels. If something contains words you can't decipher, don't buy it. Potassium bromate, E924, azodicarbonamide, ADA, BHA, BHT, brominated vegetable oil, BVO, yellow food dyes number 5 and number 6, and red dye No. 40 are extremely dangerous. Limit plastic containers. Their chemicals may appear in your food. Support small local farmers and people who fight for organic food. The Local Harvest Project database may help you find them. Why and how should we enhance school lunches? Obesity rates have rocketed during the last 50 years. Nowadays, every third child has problems with weight. But a sedentary lifestyle isn't the only reason. Look at school meals. Why are they full of junk food? Firstly, nutrition standards for school lunches have many loopholes. For example, they consider ketchup, tomato paste, or French fries vegetables. A smart snacks policy enables companies to sell junk food if its cover indicates whole grain or reduced fat. Some schools even negotiated with Domino's Pizza regarding sales. Secondly, immense advertisements are culprits. They are everywhere: TV, buses, and even schools. Still, the most hazardous is digital space. Marketologists integrate ads in websites, movies, and videos. For example, Pokemon Go led its players to McDonald's. Why? The company sponsored the game. Shockingly, this chain of restaurants and Coca-Cola targets even 2-year-old children in their ads. Overall, 56 companies paid for 3.4 billion promotional materials on social media in 2016. Why? They do it to have lifelong customers. Some cases show how we can deal with this challenge. Many Boston public schools lacked kitchens, possessing only microwaves. So, they used to buy meals in plastic containers and heat them for the students. A businesswoman, Jill Shaw, decided to change the situation and devised the hub-and-spoke model. Schools with cooking appliances started to prepare food for the ones that hadn't. It made meals healthier and created workplaces. The Wellness in Schools initiative is changing menus for pupils. In New York, culinary graduates work in educational institutions' kitchens for 3 years, implementing new cooking standards and teaching others how to do it. Another public-private partnership, Salad Bars to Schools, provides educational institutions with various vegetables. In Sweden, toy and junk food ads can target kids only older than 12. Otherwise, they're illegal. What else can we do in schools? Get rid of junk food and replace chocolate milk with white milk to reduce the sugar. Search for local organic farms. Organize a garden nearby. Integrate cooking skills and basic nutrition knowledge into the school program. The government needs to make healthy food accessible to all. In 2018, researchers discovered a telling tendency. If we visit poor districts near New York at the beginning of the month, we'll see ads for unhealthy beverages 2 or 4 times more often than at the end. In prosperous neighborhoods, the amount would be the same during both periods. So why do low-income families become ad targets in the first week of the month? Because food stamps are distributed during this period. Ads are just the tip of the iceberg. The principal reason is price. When a bottle of water costs more than a can full of sugar, we are in trouble. These problems are the most drastic for almost 140 million Americans who are close to poverty. The trap also lies in distribution. Dwellers of some districts, called food deserts, must drive a few miles to buy vegetables. Ultra-processed food, by contrast, is within earshot. This challenge occurs daily for 23 million Americans. What should we demand from the government to change the situation? Introduce taxes on sugary beverages. Subsidize farmers to make vegetables and fruits cheaper. Prohibit buying sugary drinks and other junk products using food stamps. Create a stimulus to care about diet. For example, when low-income residents in Massachusetts buy fruits and vegetables, they receive a financial bonus. A similar program, Double Up Food Bucks, exists in Michigan. Each $10 from food stamps turns into $20 if a person sticks to a nutritious ration. The essential condition is that products should be locally grown. In this case, both consumers and small farmers benefit. Half of the states have already implemented it. Install more water stations. San Francisco has already done it, enriching the city's public places with 100 water stations. Support and promote food desert dwellers initiatives. For instance, Ron Finley transforms lawns into gardens. West Oakland's community launched the project People's Grocery, mobile stores that deliver vegetables and fruits. The idea takes its inspiration from ice cream trucks, yet in this case they are full of healthy products. Company lobbyists put public health at risk. Many governments are trying to regulate junk food advertising and consumption. In Chile, junk food ads appear on TV only at night. Almost 30 countries use taxes on soft drinks. Many European authorities introduced simple food labels: green, healthy; yellow, neither nutritious nor harmful; and red, unwholesome. The American government has also tried to move in this direction, but it has a giant obstacle: lobbyists of large companies. They exercise enormous amounts of money to influence policymakers. Lavish gifts and funding of political campaigns pave the way for lawmakers' loyalty. For instance, Monsanto and Syngenta sponsored 3/4 of the Senate committee members responsible for nutrition. And after Pepsi's $5 million donation, Save the Children backpedaled the soda taxes campaign. Numerous lobbyists alternate work in industry and government. For example, Maggie Lyons first promoted the National Grocers Association's interests. Then she became an advisor to the U.S. Department of Agriculture. The following are just a few results of lobbying. Toxic bisphenol A in kids' food is legal. Other chemicals are called safe without testing. We have no labels for GMOs. Governments must change this. Taking the following steps will lessen the negative impact. Prohibit officials from lobbying for at least 5 years after a dismissal. Ban former lobbyists from working in government even as advisors. Make anonymous funding impossible. Introduce taxes on sums spent on lobbying. The power of corporations isn't limited to politics. Although most scientific studies are reliable, it's sound to take their findings with a grain of salt. That's because companies influence even them. They fund articles, research centers, and universities. For example, a Pennington Biomedical Research Center states that lack of movement is the only reason for obesity. Is it a coincidence that the institution received an almost $7 million grant from Coca-Cola? Moreover, large companies establish new centers to promote ideas beneficial for sales. As fake studies deceive communities, the scientific society needs to take the following measures. Scientists need to share raw data so that others can check the conclusions. Tighten conflict of interest rules. Encourage exact large trials instead of uncertain observational research. Soil management is at the root of healthy food and a greener planet. Transforming the way we use natural resources is a vital necessity. 33% of topsoil has already disappeared in the last 150 years. Studies show that the U.S. has only 60 harvests left. After that, Americans won't be able to grow food on the soil. In addition, tilling and pesticides lead to the following consequences: chemical-laden harvests, stronger greenhouse effect, weaker capacity of the soil to absorb water. The good news is we can change it. A 2019 UN report reveals that regenerative agriculture is a solution to restoring the soil. Thanks to this new approach, regenerated soil may contain 3 to 8% more organic matter. Each percent per acre equals up to holding 27,000 gallons of water. Main Street Project has already implemented regenerative agriculture and popularized this experience with other farmers. Its idea is to take the best from traditional agriculture and enhance it. It rests on the following principles: no-till methods, rotation of crops to avoid bare soil, usage of grass-fed cattle. Grazing stimulates roots to pump carbon, enhancing the soil quality. Another positive case is the nonprofit Kiss the Ground. It provides farmers with knowledge and support to use regenerative agriculture. Also, Costa Rica launched payments for those who help nature through reforestation and water management. An indirect way to enhance soil is to reduce waste. Nowadays, we throw away up to 40% of our food. Imagine how many natural resources are misused. Besides ending up in landfills, garbage produces 8% of global methane emissions. San Francisco set an example of how to deal with the refuse. It introduced mandatory composting. In France, grocers who throw away products may spend 2 years in jail. Another positive example is the Imperfect Produce Initiative. It collects unpresentable food, like a carrot with 2 legs. Farmers usually throw it away, yet the project gives these products a chance to reach conscious customers. You can also decrease your waste and use a compost pile. Did you know? Fewer fertilizers result in less methane and nitrous oxide emissions. The latter is 300 times more harmful than carbon dioxide.
Conclusion.
The Congressional Research Service predicted that the cost of health programs will constitute almost half of mandatory federal spending in 2025. This data is terrifying. To avoid this, preventing illnesses is a vital necessity, and healthy food is an effective way to do that. According to experts, even a 20% increase in the consumption of fruits and vegetables may help. If patients of Medicare and Medicaid, state and federal-funded health insurance programs, follow this advice, the rate of cardiovascular diseases would be less in 1.93 million cases. Food is leverage, and by using it, we can tackle many challenges. Soil restoration will bring nutritional harvests and lessen the greenhouse effect. Lobby regulation will facilitate the implementation of essential laws and make corporations pay for illnesses caused by their products. Subsidy reform will encourage farmers to grow vegetables and fruits. Bonuses for nutritional products bought from food stamps will allow the poor to economize on medication costs. A junk food ban will protect our kids' mental and physical health. We can approach these positive changes by buying healthy products, voting for decent candidates, and supporting nonprofits. Sometimes merely sticking to traditions is the best option. For example, in the 1960s, African American diets were full of nutrients, from good fats to fiber. Scientists believe that diet is twice as beneficial as an average one. Our awareness and commitment to a healthy diet will encourage others to follow this wholesome tendency.
Try this.
Analyze your usual consumption list. Choose alternatives to unhealthy products. Check the voting records of politicians. Support those who protect your health, not the company's profits. Watch the documentary Broken Brain to discover how food influences mental health.
Thank you for joining us on this enlightening journey.
If you've enjoyed our summary, consider reading the full book for a more in-depth exploration. Before you go, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and share this video with someone who could benefit from these insights. Until next time, keep reading, keep learning, and keep growing.